Mike's Daily Podcast.
Thank you, Aunt Katrine and my late great Uncle Yoop. Today, it is FF episode 1191. 1991 was the year that I discovered love. No, actually, I had a bad breakup that year. But it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And today's show,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
is called Mike's Daily Podcast because I podcast to you daily, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Although occasionally I will do a podcast on Sunday, and I have to tell you that that's my I don't have to run day. Oops, I stole from the Bengals just then. I hope that Susanna Haas will still be my friend, because she's still freaking beautiful. Damn.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
As is Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. They'll all be stopping by, and today we bring you the segment called
Mike's
the F
Daily
M
Podcast
Project.
Yeah!
Which stands for Fascinating Material. We have a fascinating story to bring you. Fascinating. Hey, let's all talk about Harry Carey. Hey, let me ask you a question, the late great Harry Carey, that inspired a Will Ferrell character that I love. Well, talking about memory lane and love lost and better to have loved than to have never loved at all, I really agree with that. I was married for 8.5 years, and some of those years were wonderful. There were some really awful years. There were some awful days. Every once in a while I get a flashback of those, but then I get flashbacks of the good times too. It's how the human brain works. And I had, updated my computer over a year ago to Windows 10, and I think now they've stopped with all. If your computer didn't update to Windows 10, I think it stopped. Maybe it still is pestering you to update to Windows 10, but you will not, will you? Because you're so stubborn. And I applaud that. If I had my applause sound effect right here, I could applaud you. But I don't. Anyway. Cafe anyway. When it updated to that, oh, look who just walked in. It also created this thing called Photos. Just Photos, I think is what they call it. Microsoft calls it Photos. Windows Photos. And what it did, a lot of people complained about it. I love it. It broke down all your photos. It, looked at the timestamp in the metadata of whatever that file is called, the JPEG, and it arranges them in the months. And then sometimes it will say like, more recent photos, of course, have on that timestamp, if you have your GPS and your phone and whatnot all turned on, it will say, hey, these were days that Mike was in Daytona Beach. Oh, by the way, we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, wow. When I talked about how the media overblows things and it was all hurricane, death, Daytona Beach will die, will blow up. I went on, as soon as I heard all that yesterday, look who else just walked in. I went to, what's that called? AccuWeather. And I looked at local weather, and the strongest the winds were going to get was maybe 80 miles an hour. No 110 miles an hour or 150, 80. And I looked this morning, and the winds were down to 50 miles an hour. That's still strong. Wind. But it was just like Daytona Beach will have some damage, and I haven't spoken to my mom yet, so I'm excited about that, to find out what's going on with her. I will call her a little bit later today after it's completely past the Hurricane Matthew, but it's just the media just gets on one thing and they get the facts wrong. And I am totally being a Trump here and saying liberal media, blah, 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 but I don't believe the media is liberal. I think that actually the media can be quite conservative. There are a lot of people in the chairs of the editorial, of the program directors, of the media corporations that are so conservative. And that, you try and introduce an idea to them that may be out of left field, they'll go, no, they'll squash it down. I've seen it time and time again. And believe me, more times than not, I've had a program director that was off the charts conservative and borderline racist or entirely racist. So the photo section, however, of the wonderful new Windows 10, I look, and it puts it all on the page in a way that you can scroll through it super fast and see glimpses of your past. And I take a lot of photos, as you know from the podcast picture, that and there's just so much that was hitting me yesterday as I was scrolling through it, because it was the first time I really looked at it. And I saw the years that I was married, and I saw the years that I had hair and looked ridiculous, and I saw the years that were bad, and I saw the years that were good. And it's all I'm saying is you need to take more pictures, and you have to have respect for your past. A lot of people, the past is past, and they don't think about it anymore. Why do I need to think about what happened? It's too much pain. No, you need to see that. You need to see your life in an instant before something happens that makes you see your life in an instant. Oh, my life flashed before my eyes because you almost died, and then you just remember that horrific effect. No, look at it all. Take it all in. Breathe it all in. Smell a rose.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Look at my podcast picture as you smell a rose. And today's podcast picture is a tribute to Daytona Beach, where the media overhyped the end of the world. And you can see a happier day there. That was taken last year. May of last year, when I last visited my mom, and I was standing in the water, took a photo. I like to do that as the warm water. I mean, their beaches, their oceans are so warm. Wow. It's like bath water. Growing up in California, where the water is always so cold. Yes, it's always so cold. If you're in San Diego, it might be a little bit warmer, but swimming was painful. Going to the beach. Oh, poor Mike, going to the beach in California. No. You go to the beach in California, that's nice, but going in the water? No. Anyway, a bunch of people walked in, and it's cafe anyway. Hi, Mike. How y'all doing? I was waiting until you shut up so I could say, how y'all doing? I'm Benita, the rodeo queen. That's my horse, Dilly.
As a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
What you said today was very poignant.
I like the way you say that.
Wow, you just turned into two people. That was weird.
Yeah, I can change my voice. Watch.
I like the way you say that.
How do you like that?
That's amazing. Dang. I am so cool. We got this orchestra in here to make that noise. Wow. And
That's my pet cricket.
wow, Jiminy Cricket. And who else walked in?
Hi, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy, that's some delicious root beer.
No thanks. Root beer is made from the sassafras root. What I would like to tell you is Ben Stein is a raging conservative and would be very much at home being a program director for a radio station, as I have seen in my experience. Well, that was the big thing I wanted to rant about that, and somebody rang my doorbell yet again yesterday. Basil he goes crazy nuts when the doorbell is rung. And of course I finally make it over to the door to see who it is, and they're gone. It's just I feel when you ring my doorbell, I should take my time to open the door. I shouldn't rush and run to the door. If you would have wanted me to rush and run, you would have maybe texted me before you got to my house to let me know, hey, meet me at the door. I'm almost there. That's what people do now. That's what the miracle of technology. But this person didn't text me, so I knew they were some stupid door-to-door person trying to sell me cable or phone crap or whatever, or have me vote for someone. Listen to the past podcast this past week to hear about who I'm not voting for because of that exact same issue of someone ringing my doorbell and trying to push some ridiculous local podcaster valley politician. But the one time that I did actually fall for Xfinity, it was Comcast. They were telling me, hey, we'll get you a great rate. And it was a guy at the door, 2 guys. And they're like, aren't you Mike Matthews, blah, 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 blah. They had all my information already in there, which was scary. Thank you, Yahoo, for that. They're giving all the information that I had out to the government. And I went, if you can get me that deal, because it was an amazing deal. It was so cheap. And they said, sure, we'll get you that deal, buddy. Just sign right here, buddy. Yeah, buddy, the check's in the mail. And did they? No, they didn't. I had a fight for frickin' months. I tried calling them, got transferred to the Philippines to someone who could barely speak English. It was horrible. You know what? I really hate Xfinity and Comcast. And it is a necessary evil here in California because they own all the cable and what do you call it, the fiber optics. You know what? You got to go into their store and actually talk to someone and come in looking pissed. Wear some leather. Walk in and say, hey, I want my MTV. But finally, check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, with all the past podcast pictures and past interviews, and you can help support the show. Yes, I've interviewed some people. Although I've noticed something. When I interview someone on my show, I notice I don't get as many downloads. I want to keep doing interviews, but still, I think people actually like the news crap that I do, which is amazing. I get more downloads when I do these news segments, which I'm about to do. Finally, if you want to support the show, the Amazon link, click on that, buy whatever it is you're going to buy. I can't stand it when people say again. As in, again. If you'd like to help support the show, because they say it over and over and again, and it's annoying. So avoid that crutch. My friend Dalton, who I work with at the other radio station I work on the weekend, he pointed out to me all the crutches people use, and he's only 20. It's amazing he knows all these things. I think he hates that. I think. He's like, why would you say I think? It's already coming out of your mouth. Of course it's you that thinks. You're thinking as you talk, right? So the I think is already, why do you have to say it again? Beautiful point, Dalton. Also, us are annoying. Agains are annoying. Maybe you can think of more. Email me at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. You can find those links and where you can comment as well. And we do that segment that is called...
Oh my God!
Email for email. And your and not so comments.
Where we read your comments and emails. And if you'd like to support us through the Amazon, click on that, buy whatever it is you're going to buy. Or there's the PayPal. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. Now the Fascinating Material Project.
The Fascinating Material Project.
FM Project.
Hello, Bigfoot. No, I wasn't making comment about your humongous feet. Look at those scary things, and they're hairy. What are you, a hobbit? A potentially legendary photobomber has stolen the spotlight from a bald eagle nest. Hey, I like those eagles, because they're like me. Bald with lots of feathers. And was featured on a live cam in Michigan. Social media was abuzz with a clip from a camera mounted on a tree near the Platte River State Fish Hatchery in Balua, about 30 miles west of Traverse City, placed there to highlight a bald eagle nest. In the footage, bald eagles peep in the nest while on the forest floor below walks through what some think is Bigfoot. Can I get an amen? Work. The never-confirmed mythological man-ape-like creature that spawned many an unwatchable cable TV night vision camera show. Do not watch those shows. Your brain is deteriorating as you do that. At least as you listen to this show, it's not deteriorating as much. You're learning things like this. Thank you, MSN.com, for the story. The live cam clip was highlighted on the website carbontv.com, a Pingham Farms-based company that specializes in online video content related to the outdoors. I love cams. Cam. I like girls named Cam. I like cameras that are just pointed at the great outdoors. I really like the ones that you can control. And there used to be one mounted on a house in Sausalito that I used to go to all the time when I lived in Alabama because I was sad. And then I thought, if I actually lived in Sausalito, I'd be broke. Or I'd have to be super mega rich to live there. Boy, where did I go now? Oh, so Carbon TV also has a YouTube channel, and the company partnered with the State Department of Natural Resources to install the Eagle Cam on state land adjacent to the fish hatchery. The clip includes a pop-up video zooming in on whatever is roaming below the nest. A dark figure walking on two legs, too much to be a bear, can be seen moving up a wooded slope, pausing on a fallen tree, then leaping down a slope and out of view. Looks pretty much like Bigfoot, or a man in an ape suit, or just a normally dressed guy in silhouette. Quote, like most videos purported to be Bigfoot, it's grainy and out of focus, said Ed Eiche, DNR fish production manager for the state and the Platte River hatchery. The clip was captured on video in May. Carbon TV Executive Director of Content and Marketing Daniel Siegler said, a view of the live cam apparently noticed the unusual guest appearance and posted about it on a Bigfoot enthusiast website. A Carbon TV editor stumbled across the posting. Staff reviewed their archival footage, found it, and highlighted it last month. From what we can see, what anybody can see with their plain eye, it's up to interpretation. It's definitely grounds for speculation as a legitimate sighting, says Daniel Siegler. Whatever, he doesn't listen to the show. It's the kind of thing that the internet really loves. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. By the way, this is interesting. Jeff Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University and studies the evolution of humans and their ancestors becoming bipeds, walking on 2 feet. He also studies Bigfoot, having amassed more than 300 footprints casts and conducting frequent field laboratories in the Pacific Northwest. He says it's an interesting video, but remains just that given the lack of scale and detail in the image of the figure. We're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the still controversial Patterson-Gimlin film, a 60-second film clip of much higher quality about which opinions remain polarized. That's that really shaky one. That freaks me out every time I see it. I remember seeing that as a kid going, oh, there really is a big scary ape man in the forest. By contrast, this Eagle's Nest video doesn't offer much by way of compelling evidence. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. I want you to have a wonderful day and a great weekend. If the doorbell rings, I hope it's a wonderful, wonderful friend ready to give you a warm embrace.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!